the by the UN General Assembly at the request of at the request of Government of India in terms of the fact that 2023 is International Year of Millets, right? So what exactly is this millets? The millets are nothing but positive grains, and we are going to know a lot more about the benefits, the medicinal value of this in a few minutes. This concept was introduced by, or kind of reintroduced or resurfaced as such, by Dr. Khadarwali, right? He's known as the Millet Man of India. He's won Krishi Ratna Award. This was a part of our diet probably a couple of years or I would say a couple of decades ago. But of course, it got forgotten after wheat, rice, and all these grains, were introduced to us, right? Dr. Khadarwali basically believes that food is the medicine. And his concept is that when food is wrong, medicine is of absolutely no use, and when food is right, there is no need of medicine, right? So making your own kitchen your pharmacy and making your food your medicine is the entire concept of millets. And this has got proven, right? It's not just another new fad as such. This has got proven because there are thousands of diabetes patients where they've seen reversal of diabetes. There have been patients with diabetics and gangrenous legs, etc., who were advised amputation, but they could save their limbs without amputation, and they could save their limbs just by adopting a much more healthier plant-based lifestyle, right? So while the larger concept is the plant-based lifestyle, today we are going to look at one small subpart of it, which is essentially about millets, and how concepts like whether it's diabetes, whether it's other lifestyle diseases like cancer, or it's just about obesity, early puberty, etc., all of this, how this can really be reversed, be controlled proactively using millets or these Sri Dhanyas as such, right? The reason why we chose this concept is essentially because while it's about food and healthy living, more importantly, it is hugely about environment also. Why? Because millets are using a lot of lesser water or a lot of lesser resources. Millets can be grown in a very large scale, and a lot of folks have kind of a lot of well-known celebrities, including say celebrity chef Ranveer Brar, whom we all may know, master chef. He's also kind of said that he's also tested that if we grow and consume millets, we actually are going to leave a much healthier planet for our future generations, right? So keeping the fact not only its medicinal value as such, but also the fact that it has a huge positive impact on the environment, and specifically for India, where our water tables are so low and they're just decreasing by the day. I think ensuring that more of us convert into millets and start demanding millets is something that is good from an environmental perspective as well. So with this, let me pause and hand it over to Sangeeta for the speaker introduction. I'm sure this is going to be a very insightful session for all of us. So yeah, thanks once again for taking the time out to attend today. Yeah, Sangeeta ji.
Thank you, Dimple. I think that was a very useful introduction. Gave us a lot of insights. And Kommal ji, thank you so much for accepting our invite and being here today. So just to let you know a little bit about Kommal ji. Kommal एक certified holistic nutritionist है, और वो शरण के साथ में हेल्थ कोच भी है. उन्होंने अमेरिकन फिटनेस प्रोफेशनल एसोसिएशन में के थ्रू न्यूट्रिशन स्टडी किया है, और she also holds a diploma in Child Nutrition from Center of Excellence. But before becoming a nutritionist, she was a freelance graphic designer, and she was an architectural animator. And her journey into this side, which is a certified nutritionist, actually, I mean, not just certified, being a nutritionist and being an eco-conscious consumer, and also practicing, not just practicing this, but also preaching, is very interesting. It was actually a chance meeting with Dr. Nandita Shah of SHARAN. जैसा कहते हैं ना कि नियति में लिखा हुआ रहता है कुछ होता है, उनके साथ में ऐसा ही कुछ हुआ. वो डॉक्टर नंदिता शाह के साथ में मुंबई के अहिंसा फेस्टिवल पर सेम टेबल पर बैठे हुए थे, और जब बहुत सारे लोग डॉक्टर नंदिता को मिलकर हेल्थ न्यूट्रिशन एनिमल एक्सप्लॉयटेशन के बारे में पूछने लगे, तो उन्हें लगा कि वो किसी बहुत बड़ी हस्ती के साथ में बैठे हुए हैं। घर पर जाकर उन्होंने इमीडिएटली सर्च किया डॉक्टर नंदिता शाह के बारे में, तो उन्हें पता चला कि वो शरण के फाउंडर है। Sharan organization that is for, and Komalji will tell us more about Sharan in a few minutes. But an organization that is for animal protection, that is for a conscious living. They're not just doing it themselves, but they are also helping many people live that kind of a life for the benefit of the environment and for the benefit of all the living beings. So जब पढ़ा तो उन्हें लगा कि अपने जीवन में अभी तक जाने या अनजाने वो ऐसी लाइफस्टाइल जी रहे थे जिससे ना सिर्फ वो खुद का बट एनवायरनमेंट का और दूसरे प्राणियों का और स्पेशली काऊ का कितनी हानि पहुंचा रहे थे। सो अगली ही सुबह से उन्होंने डिसाइड किया कि वो प्लांट बेस्ड लाइफस्टाइल अपनाएंगे। सो दैट्स अ वेरी वेरी बोल्ड डिसीजन, कोमल जी, वेरी इंस्पायरिंग to take a decision at such within such a short span of time and then living through it. Hats off to you. So since then, she has never looked back. She has been living a plant-based lifestyle herself. She has been cooking plant-based food, feeding, nurturing her family, and also taking classes on plant-based food, as well as conducting health talks. Her program on getting Millet Savvy, जिसका आज एक glimpse हमें मिलेगा, but that's actually a full-fledged 6 weeks program that she has been running for many years for overall health and well-being, for cancer well-being, for weight management, etc. So she's been doing a lot, Komalji, very inspiring journey. So now, without much ado, Komalji will hand it over to you and all ears to really understand from you how we can follow your footsteps.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sangeeta ji. Thank you, Dimple. And Jai Jinendra to begin with. And I'm so happy to know about this organization, Applied Jainism, where practically you work out on solutions, how we can be more compassionate. So I was really delighted to know about this organization, and thank you for making me a part of it. And let's start with the presentation. Before I start, okay, I'd like to talk to people, not to the names. Can you please come on screen?
Yeah, everyone, can you please switch on your videos?
I would really love to talk to people, because otherwise it will be just one way. Yeah, thank you, Vidya ji. Thank you, Hajar ji. So good to see you. So any of you are aware about SHARAN? You can just raise your hand or give me an answer in the chat box. Yes, Dimple is aware. Any of you? Sangeeta ji is also aware. Yes. None? Okay. So let me just start my screen share and I'll explain to you a little bit about SHARAN and then we get on to the presentation for today. Give me a moment. Okay. I hope the screen is visible to you. So SHARAN, yes, great. Thank you. So SHARAN, this word is not just the word SHARAN, it is an acronym. And I understand I'll be talking in Hindi and English both, right? So wherever you feel you're not understanding any of the participant, just let me know. I'll repeat my point because it may be possible I may just go on with English. So let me know. ठीक है, मुझे सिर्फ बता देना, मैं रिपीट कर दूंगी आपको. सो शरण ये जो है ये सिर्फ वर्ड नहीं है, इट इज अ शॉर्ट फॉर्म, इट इज एन एक्रोनिम. It stands for Sanctuary for Health and Reconnection to Animals and Nature. और जब हम ये reconnection करते हैं तब we actually fall in love with animals and nature. And when we are in love with it, with these animals, this nature, we will automatically be compassionate to them. It comes very natural to us if we are in connection with them. So that's what we do. Our founder's name is Dr. Nandita Shah. She is been awarded the Nari Shakti Award for the work that she's been doing with SHARAN. Nari Shakti Award काफी esteemed award है India में. And so basically, what do we do in SHARAN? Our mission is to empower you to reach your highest health potential through potential lifestyle changes, long-term lifestyle changes. So basically, lifestyle में change करके हम आपको आपके best possible health में पहुंचाना चाहते हैं. And how do we do this? हम we help people reverse lifestyle diseases like cancer, diabetes, thyroidism, PCOD, etc. just by changing the food habits, nutrition, and we do have some holistic programs for that. And my journey was so well explained in my introduction. Thank you so much. So, okay, where are we based? Here, Mumbai, we do have a good team. Otherwise, we are based in Pondicherry. And other chat questions, if there is anything related to English that you're not understanding, please someone ask me. While I'm sharing my screen, I'm not able to see the chat box. Other questions, let us take in the end if possible. Okay. So my journey was so well explained. Thank you so much. Just a little bit more about it. जब मैं शरण के बारे में मैंने जाना, उसके पहले मुझे लग रहा था कि मैं बहुत हेल्दी लाइफस्टाइल जी रही हूँ. मैं अपना खाने पीने का अच्छे से ध्यान रख रही थी. मुझे तभी थायराइड था, हाइपोथायरॉयडिज्म. और मुझे डॉक्टर ने बोला था कि आपको सिर्फ एक सुबह की छोटी मेडिसिन लेनी है एंड दैट इज इट, और कुछ चेंज नहीं करना है, ये आपको मिस नहीं करना है. So I asked doctor how many times, like how many months or weeks should I take this? And he told me you'll have to take it for lifetime. And I accepted it. मैंने ये मान लिया कि यही मेरी लाइफ है, मैं ये छोटी सी दवाई रोज लूंगी and life will go on. And I was feeling that I am leading a very healthy life. But after what happened, after what Sangeeta ji told us, that I met Dr. Nandita, I saw SHARAN website, I saw a few PETA videos, I was shocked. और because of compassion, मैंने दूध लेना बिल्कुल बंद कर दिया दूसरे दिन से. Gradually सीखा दूध की जगह पे क्या खा सकते हैं, क्या दही की जगह पे क्या खा सकते हैं, घी की जगह पे क्या खा सकते हैं. ग्रेजुअली शरण से मैंने ये सीखा. वेबसाइट पे काफी रेसिपीज है, क्लासेस किए, काफी कुछ सीखा. पर फिर आफ्टर 3 months मुझे एक बहुत बड़ा चेंज दिखा मेरे में. मुझे पहले जो एसिडिटी होती थी वो एसिडिटी गायब हो गई. गेशियसनेस तो 2 हफ्ते में ही चली गई थी. मेरी स्किन और हेयर बहुत अच्छे क्वालिटी के हो गए थे ग्रेजुअली. और मेरे जो हर 3 महीने में थायराइड टेस्ट कर रही थी उसमें मैंने इम्प्रूवमेंट देखना शुरू कर दिया. सो दैट वाज अ बिग वाव पॉइंट फॉर मी. सो मैंने कंपैशन के लिए चेंजेस किया, पर मुझे जो ये हेल्थ बेनिफिट्स मिले वो एक बोनस थे. और उसके बाद नेक्स्ट 6 to 8 months में मैंने ऑलमोस्ट 9 kgs वेट लूज कर लिया था विदाउट एनी extra exercise, without any other change in diet. Okay, so और फिर नेक्स्ट 1.5 साल में मेरा थायराइड एकदम नॉर्मल हो गया. मेरे डॉक्टर ने बोला ये क्यों हो रहा है मुझे बिल्कुल पता नहीं चल रहा है, पर मैं दवाई बंद नहीं करूंगा. So we went on again for 3-6 months with that lower dosage of medicine. And after 6 months, my doctor is telling me, I don't want you to take this thyroid medicine. The same doctor जिसने मुझे lifetime के लिए medicine बोला था, उसी डॉक्टर ने मुझे बोला ये medicine अभी बिल्कुल लेने की जरूरत नहीं है. That's how I reversed my thyroid, hypothyroidism. And I'm right now 12 kgs lighter than what I was at that time. दिस इज अराउंड 7 years बैक ये हुआ था. और इस 7 साल में मैंने ये वेट भी मेंटेन किया है, मेरा थायराइड TSH लेवल भी मेंटेन किया है, एंड बहुत सारी चीजें मैं कर पाती हूँ. वही 12 घंटे हैं हमारे पास दिन में, राइट? 12 घंटे तो सोने में और हमने हमारा डेली रूटीन करने में जाते हैं. तो ये 12 घंटे में मैं जो पहले कर पाती थी उससे काफी ज्यादा कर सकती हूँ. बेसिकली my energy levels increased drastically, and along with the energy levels, my mind also relaxed. बहुत ही शांत हो गया मेरा मन. My daughter, she within like 1 or 2 years, कुछ हुआ exactly I don't remember. One day she came up to me and told me, "Mama, you're not getting as angry as you used to get earlier." So this was a big wow moment for me. Okay, so along this journey, मैंने journey में किया वो मैं आपको share करना चाहती हूँ. कि शरण लाइफस्टाइल मैंने फॉलो किया, पर मैंने एग्जैक्टली क्या किया. सो इसमें से 5 पॉइंट प्लान है. सो फर्स्ट थिंग, मैं प्लांट बेस्ड हो गई उसी एक दिन में. दैट इज द फर्स्ट थिंग आई डिड. एंड देन मैं ऑर्गेनिक मैंने खाना शुरू कर दिया, बिकॉज जो पेस्टिसाइड्स यूज होते हैं, जंतुनाशक दवाएं, वो उन जंतुओं को तो मारते ही है, पर वो हमारे बॉडी में भी बहुत खराब इफेक्ट करते हैं. बेसिकली दे अटैक अवर एंडोक्रिनल सिस्टम. हमारा हार्मोनल बैलेंस जो होता है वो बिगाड़ देते हैं. तो मैंने ये जब ऑर्गेनिक शुरू किया, उसके बाद मेरे थायराइड लेवल में चेंजेस दिखने लगे ग्रेजुअली. फिर मैंने होल फूड चालू कर दिया. व्हाट इज होल फूड? को भी प्रोसेस फूड बंद कर दिया, पैकेज फूड बंद कर दिया. और प्रोसेस फूड मैं जब बोलती हूँ तो वही खाना नहीं है जो बाहर से हम लेते हैं. प्रोसेस फूड में केचप भी आ जाता है, ऑयल भी आ जाता है, क्योंकि वो सीड्स नहीं है, ऑयल है, काफी प्रोसेस करके आता है. शुगर भी प्रोसेस होता है. तो वो सब चीजें मैंने बंद कर दी और नेचुरल स्वीटनर्स लेने लगी. नेचुरल शुगर जैसे खजूर, खारेक लेने लगी. और ऑयल की जगह पे शेंगदाना का पाउडर लिया या कोकोनट लिया, ये सब लेने लगी. तो चेंजेस और फास्ट दिखने लगे मेरे हेल्थ में. और इसके साथ साथ विटामिन डी और विटामिन B12 एवरी 6 मंथ्स चेक करती रही, क्योंकि अगर वो लो होता है ना, तो हम काफी डिसीजेस को इनविटेशन दे देते हैं. सो इतना ध्यान रखना है कि ये दो चीजें कम ना हो. ओके, सो तो ये दोनों चेक करके इसके सप्लीमेंट्स लिए जब भी लो थे. बाकी अभी ये नॉर्मल है. तो सिर्फ ये 5 चीजें मैं फॉलो करने लगी, तो मुझे ये सारे चेंजेस मेरे लाइफ में दिखने लगे. और इसके बाद ग्रेजुअली मैंने सोचा कि ये श्री धान्या के बारे में सुना, और मेरे टीम में, शरण टीम में काफी लोग हैं जो कम्प्लीटली मिलेट्स पे हैं. तो मैंने ग्रेजुअली मिलेट्स को ट्राई करना शुरू कर दिया. तो जैसे जैसे मिलेट्स मैंने शुरू किए ना, एक बड़ा चेंज मैंने मेरे में जो देखा वो था कि मेरा थॉट प्रोसेस काफी क्लियर होने लगा. बहुत अच्छे से थॉट्स, यानी कंफ्यूजन कम हो गया थॉट प्रोसेस में. ये एक बड़ा चेंज मैंने मेरे लाइफ में देखा आफ्टर आई स्टार्टेड विथ मिलेट्स. सो दिस इज अराउंड 2 years बैक आई स्टार्टेड विथ मिलेट्स. देयर हैज बीन टाइम्स लाइक बीच में 3 months के ऐसे मैं गैप्स लेती हूँ जहाँ मैं कंप्लीटली मिलेट्स पे रहती हूँ, कंप्लीटली व्हीट बंद कर देती हूँ. और तभी जो मेरी एनर्जी होती है वो एकदम पीक पे होती है. So this is my experience with plant-based foods and with millets. And when I say plant-based food, तो काफी लोग ये बोलते हैं कि सिर्फ मिल्क बंद करना है, पर नहीं, मिल्क नहीं, मिल्क हर फॉर्म में बंद करना है. हम सब आज मिले हैं, हम सब तो वेजिटेरियन ही हैं. So I'm not talking about meat here. But मिल्क में क्या क्या आ जाता है? छाछ, दही, घी, मिल्क पाउडर ये लोग बिस्किट्स में ऐड करते हैं. इवन चिप्स में भी मिल्क पाउडर डालते हैं, बिकॉज ये काफी एडिक्टिंग होता है और हम वापस वापस चिप्स खाने जाते हैं इसके लिए. सो चीज है. फिर और क्या हो सकता है? और अपनी चाय, कॉफी है. काफी लोग बोलते हैं हम तो दूध पीते ही नहीं है, सिर्फ एक चाय होती है. बट यस, चाय में भी दूध जाता है, राइट? सो व्हेन यू रिमूव all the animal products from your food completely, ghee also, and that's when you get completely plant-based, and that's when you'll see results in your health. Okay, so now let's move ahead. When I say plant-based lifestyle, जब मैं बोल रही हूँ, तो this is a pyramid that I will follow. The bottom 3 layers are foundation foods, जो हमें ample quantity में खाने हैं, so that हमारा हेल्थ अच्छा रहे. सो वो क्या है? पानी, फल और सब्जियां. ठीक है. एंड द नेक्स्ट 2 levels आर प्रोटीन्स एंड एमिनो एसिड्स, जनरली जो हमें मीडियम क्वांटिटी में खाना है, जो है नट्स एंड सीड्स, sprouts, legumes and grains. एंड जो लास्ट 2 लेयर्स है वो मेडिसिनल फूड्स हैं, जो हमें बहुत कम क्वांटिटी में खाना है और जरूरत और टेस्ट के हिसाब से ही खाना है, जो है हर्ब्स, माइक्रोग्रीन्स और जूसिंग ग्रीन्स। तो हम आज आगे जो बात करेंगे वो इस लेवल के बारे में बात करेंगे जहाँ ग्रेन्स आते हैं। ओके, सो व्हेन आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ मिलेट्स, मिलेट्स आर ग्रेन्स, राइट? तो ये नहीं है कि हमें ये बहुत खाने हैं। Okay, so this is just a disclaimer. I'll be talking about millets because that's a topic for today. But that does not mean that you don't have fruits and vegetables, which is much more important than legumes and grains. Okay, so let's move ahead. Grains के बारे में बात करते हैं। Grains क्या है? अनाज क्या है? अनाज generally 2 types के होते हैं, ट्रू सीरियल्स और स्यूडो सीरियल्स। ओके, सो जो ट्रू सीरियल्स हैं ये, इसके एग्जाम्पल्स है ओट्स, राइस, चावल, व्हीट, गेहूं, कॉर्न, मकई, बार्ली, जव, राई और मिलेट्स। मिलेट्स श्री धान्य जैसे डॉक्टर खादरवली बोलते हैं। सो ये जो ग्रेन्स है वो बेसिकली ग्रास फॉर्म में ग्रो होते हैं। ऊपर एक पॉड होता है, उसमें अनाज होते हैं, काफी लोग ने देखा होगा, राइट? मेरा पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस ये है कि राइस जो है वो ज्यादा एडिक्टिव होता है, एंड स्पेशली वाइट राइस, उसमें ज्यादातर फाइबर और न्यूट्रिशन निकल गया होता है, और जो रहता है वो वाइट राइस जो है वो इट इज लाइक एम्प्टी कैलोरीज, न्यूट्रिशन हार्डली होता है उसमें। एंड जब वो एम्प्टी कैलोरीज है तो वो हम ज्यादा खा लेते हैं, और वो थोड़ा व्हीट और राइस ये 2 चीजें हैं और थोड़ा एडिक्टिव भी है, थोड़ा नहीं, मैं बोलूंगी ज्यादा एडिक्टिव। तो ये मैंने ऑब्जर्व किया है। और जब मैं मिलेट्स खाती हूँ देन आई फील मोर फिलिंग, मुझे खाना कम खाना पड़ता है, पेट जल्दी भर जाता है, ब्लोटिंग नहीं होती है, वेट लॉस भी होता है। जो वेट लॉस जिनको चाहिए तो मिलेट्स इज अ वे टू गो। न्यूट्रिशन ज्यादा है, एडिक्शन तो बिल्कुल भी नहीं है, और बॉवल मूवमेंट्स इजी है, पेट साफ हो जाता है। अब जो स्यूडो सीरियल्स है, जैसे ये नाम बोल रहा है स्यूडो सीरियल्स, यानी सीरियल के जैसा, ये अनाज जैसा है बट ये अनाज नहीं है। ओके, सो ये स्यूडो सीरियल्स जो है, हाँ आगे जाएंगे तो मिलेट्स के बारे में बात करेंगे। लेट्स टॉक अबाउट स्यूडो सीरियल्स फर्स्ट। ये अनाज जैसे हैं, अनाज नहीं है, वो सीड्स, वो अनाज के जैसे ग्रो होते हैं, सिमिलरली नॉट एग्जैक्टली सेम। इनमें न्यूट्रिशन भी काफी ज्यादा है, तो हम ये ले सकते हैं, बट ये अनाज नहीं। दिस इज जस्ट फॉर इंफॉर्मेशन, यू कैन हैव दीज आर वेरी हेल्दी ग्रेन्स। एमरंथ यानी राजगिरा, बकवीट यानी कुट्टू का आटा, बहुत ही हेल्दी है ये दोनों। चिया सीड्स इज ऑल्सो स्यूडो सीरियल। एंड कीनुआ, कीनुआ हम काफी बार बोलते हैं मिलेट है, बट नहीं, एमरंथ भी काफी लोग बोलते हैं मिलेट है, नहीं ये मिलेट्स नहीं है, ये स्यूडो सीरियल्स है, सीड्स हैं जो सीरियल जैसे हैं, दे आर वेरी हेल्दी। कीनुआ इज वेरी वेरी वेल नोन नाउअडेज, एक फैड हो गया है, फैशन हो गया है, बट इट इज नॉट अ लोकल सीड, इट इज मोर ओवर ग्रोन इन फॉरेन कंट्रीज। कुछ फार्मर्स अभी इंडिया में ग्रो कर रहे हैं। So I would suggest go for local grains than going for foreign grains or foreign seeds. Okay? And in सब में माइक्रो और मैक्रो न्यूट्रिएंट्स काफी अच्छे हैं, you can always have them. Let's move ahead. अनाज की एनाटॉमी देखते हैं, कैसा होता है अनाज। ओके, मुझे एक पॉइंटर लेने दो यहाँ पे, मैं आपको एक्सप्लेन कर। तो हियर्स द पॉइंटर। ये जो आउटर आउटलाइन है गोल्डन कलर की, दैट इज द फाइबर, दैट इज अ व्हाट यू कॉल ब्रैन। ब्रैन होता है, आउटर लेयर होता है, उसमें विटामिन बी और ट्रेस मिनरल्स है, उसमें फाइबर भी काफी होता है। और ये जो मिडल में पीच कलर का है उसको एंडोस्पर्म बोलते हैं, उसमें प्रोटीन्स और कार्ब्स होते हैं। और इस प्रोटीन में एक प्रोटीन जो होता है वो ग्लूटेन होता है। ओके, ग्लूटेन के बारे में आगे बात करेंगे। और ये छोटा सा जो जर्म है उसमें उसको न्यूट्रिएंट कोर होता है, वो बहुत। प्लीज अनम्यूट योरसेल्फ। तो जब हम ग्रेन को प्रोसेस करते हैं तभी क्या होता है, जब हम गेहूं का मैदा बनाते हैं तभी क्या निकल जाता है ग्रेन में से? कैन एनी ऑफ यू आंसर मी इन द चैट बॉक्स? आई जस्ट सी द चैट बॉक्स। जब हम गेहूं को मैदे में जर्म निकल जाता है, वेरी नाइस डिम्पल, यस जर्म निकल जाता है, और क्या निकल जाता है? जर्म इज वेरी न्यूट्री, हस्क निकल जाता है, यानी बाहर का जो ब्रांड है ना वो भी निकल जाता है। ओके, सो और इवन मिडिल लेयर में से भी काफी न्यूट्रिएंट स्टफ निकल जाता है। क्या बचता है उसमें? अगेन एम्प्टी कैलोरीज, अ लिटिल बिट ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन इज देयर, a little bit of protein is there, and there is a lot of gluten in it. Okay, so maida, a complete no-no. Empty calories, there is no fiber in it. I consider fiber as one of the main nutrients of our daily routine. अब जो भी खा रहे हो, जस्ट इमेजिन करो, जस्ट एक बार सोचो इसमें फाइबर कितना है, फिर ही खाओ। ओके, सो अभी हम अंडरस्टैंड करेंगे कि ग्लूटेन क्या है। हम आजकल बहुत फैड हो गए, ग्लूटेन फ्री खाना खाना है, राइट? ग्लूटेन फ्री ही हेल्दी है बोलते हैं, और हमारे पेरेंट्स क्या बोलते हैं? हमने तो पूरी लाइफ ग्लूटेन खाई है, हमें कुछ हुआ है, राइट? बट लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड मोर इन डिटेल ग्लूटेन क्या है, फिर डिसाइड करते हैं कि ग्लूटेन खाना है या नहीं खाना है। ओके, लेट्स मूव अहेड। सो ये हमारे डाइजेशन का अंदर का पार्ट है, इंटेस्टाइन्स है, और जो इनर वॉल्स ऑफ इंटेस्टाइन है हमारे, वो ऐसे होते हैं। हमारे इनर वॉल्स ऑफ इंटेस्टाइन में ऐसे फिंगर लाइक सब्सटेंसेस होते हैं, बहुत सारे यानी लाखों में होते हैं। और वो एकदम मैश जैसे होते हैं। नेट कैसी होती है जिसमें से हम इजीली पास कर सकते हैं लिक्विड्स, वैसे मैश जैसे होते हैं। ओके, सो हम जब ग्लूटेन खाते हैं तो ये ग्लूटेन जो होता है ना, वो करता क्या है, वो बेसिकली स्टिकी होता है और वो शेप देता है किसी भी फूड को। ओके, सो जब हम ग्लूटेन खा, इसीलिए वो ज्यादा डेयरी ये बेकरी फूड्स में यूज होता है, बिकॉज वहाँ शेप लगता है, राइट? तो और रोटियों में यूज होता है बिकॉज उसी में उसमें भी गोल शेप लगता है। तो ये जब हम ग्लूटेन खाते हैं तो ये अंदर के इंटेस्टाइन्स के अंदर के स्किन पे स्टिक हो जाता है, एंड वो इजीली निकलता नहीं है। जब हम फाइबर खाते हैं तो जो स्टिक हुआ ग्लूटेन है वो निकलता जाता है ग्रेजुअली। फाइबर क्या होता है? हमारे डाइजेशन का झाड़ू पोछा है। हम घर रोज साफ कर रहे हैं, राइट? पर अंदर का जो हमारा घर है वो भी हमें साफ करना है, रोज साफ करना है। हमें हमारा अंदर का जो, ये हमारा जो बॉडी है वो हमारा व्हीकल है, राइट? हमारी गाड़ी है इस लाइफ के लिए। तो हमें ये अच्छे से अगर चलानी है तो हमें वो उसे अंदर से साफ रखनी है, उसका अंदर का इंजन साफ रखना है, तो उसके लिए फाइबर ज्यादा खाना है। तो ये जो जब ग्लूटेन स्टिक हो जाता है और जब निकलता है फाइबर से तो काफी बार खींचता है, और ये जो इनर लेयर, इनर स्किन है ना इंटेस्टाइन्स की, जो मैश की बनी हुई है, जो फिंगर लाइक है, वो फट जाती है काफी बार। और ये जो मैश है ना, वहां से न्यूट्रिशन ब्लड में एब्जॉर्ब होता है। सो जब ये फट जाएगा तो न्यूट्रिशन एब्जॉर्ब होगा कि खाना ही ब्लड में जाएगा? खाना ही जा सकता है, राइट? सो तभी है ना बॉडी का इम्यून सिस्टम एक्टिवेट हो जाता है, एंड जब भी बॉडी का इम्यून सिस्टम एक्टिवेट हो जाता है तो बॉडी काफी इन्फ्लेम हो जाती है, राइट? सो जब भी ये होता है तभी बॉडी का इम्यून सिस्टम एक्टिवेट होता है एंड बॉडी राइटली फंक्शन नहीं करता है। सो जब ये इनर वॉल्स पूरा डैमेज हो जाता है तभी ये ऐसे लगता है, या राइट साइड में ना पूरा फ्लैट हो जाता है, अंदर से न्यूट्रिशन एब्जॉर्ब ही नहीं हो पाता। एंड जब ये होता है तभी इस कंडीशन को हम कहते हैं सीलियाक डिसीज। और ये सीलियाक डिसीज लकीली वर्ल्ड में 1% लोगों को ही है, और ये परसेंटेज बढ़ रहा है, हाँ बहुत रैपिडली बढ़ रहा है। पर ये जो कंडीशन है वो एक दिन में नहीं आएगी, It takes years to reach there. And all of us are in between this phase. This is 100% healthy, this is 0% healthy. In between है हम कहीं पे भी. और हम, for me, like mine is a Gujarati family. तो मेरे घर में ग्लूटेन 4 बार खाया जाता है. सुबह नाश्ते में खाखरा, दोपहर को खाने में गेहूं की रोटी, शाम को नाश्ते में अगेन खाखरा होता है ज्यादातर, और शाम को खाने में थेपला, भाखरी. सो इट इज लाइक थ्रू आउट द टाइम मैं बॉडी में अगर ग्लूटेन ही ग्लूटेन डाल रही हूँ, मेरा बॉडी बेचारा रिपेयर भी करता है. आवर बॉडी रिपेयर्स आवर सेल्स वेरी सून. कॉन्स्टेंटली इट इज वर्किंग टू गेट इट सेल्फ टू बैक टू हेल्थ. सो रिपेयरिंग होती है जब हम सोते हैं तभी. पर कितनी बार बेचारा रिपेयर करेगा? देयर इज अ पॉइंट वेयर इट विल गिव अप, राइट? सो if you're having gluten every single meal, gradually cut it down, I would suggest. And if you're having every single day, तो alternate day खाओ. थोड़ा gluten gaps में दो body. Okay? So let's understand now कि ये जो अंदर हमारे intestines में होता है. अच्छा, जब हम बीच के लेवल में हैं, राइट, हम completely damage, हमारा intestines completely damage नहीं है, पर it is not completely healthy also. तो उसको क्या कहते हैं? नॉन सीलियक ग्लूटेन सेंसिटिविटी. ओके, सो हम ग्लूटेन में सेंसिटिव भी है पर completely डैमेज नहीं है हमारा इंटेस्टाइन्स. और जब आप completely डैमेज होता है ना, तब हम गेहूं सूंघते हैं ना, तभी भी सिम्टम्स देखते हैं बॉडी में. So let us understand what are the symptoms that we see in our body when we are gluten sensitive. Either completely sensitive or maybe partially. Okay? पर क्या क्या सिम्टम्स है? सो लेफ्ट साइड में अगर ये मैं जूम करूँ ना, तो ये बहुत सारे सिम्टम्स हैं, राइट? एंड मैं इसके डिटेल्स में जा भी नहीं रही हूँ. दे आर लाइक, स्पेशली इट इज रिलेटेड टू गट, तो गैस्ट्रो सिम्टम्स बहुत सारे हैं. ब्रेन के सिम्टम्स भी बहुत सारे हैं, बिकॉज आवर गट एंड ब्रेन इज वेरी इंट्रिंसिकली कनेक्टेड. ओके, 80% of our brain issues are because of gut. Okay, so हम पेट में क्या डालते हैं बहुत जरूरी है, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. फिर बाकी ब्रेन और गैस्ट्रो के छोड़ के भी काफी बहुत सारे अदर सिम्टम्स भी हैं. रिप्रोडक्टिव सिम्टम्स हैं, बॉडी सिम्टम्स में लेथार्जी, फटीग, नमनेस हो जाती है हाथ पांव में, वेट गेन या वेट लॉस अचानक हो जाता है, वो भी अलग अलग सिम्टम्स हैं. किड्स में भी अगर ग्रोथ ठीक नहीं है, ऑटो इम्यून डिसीजेस इज आल्सो वन ऑफ द सिम्टम ऑफ ग्लूटेन सेंसिटिविटी. और बाकी सारे अदर सिम्टम्स जैसे माउथ अल्सर्स हैं, स्मेल आती है आपको अगर आपके ब्रेथ में, शॉर्टनेस ऑफ ब्रेथ है, ये भी काफी. और स्किन के इश्यूज भी इसके रिलेटेड हो सकते हैं. सो नाउ द राइट साइड में मैंने जो लिस्ट लिखी है वो मेजर सिम्टम्स है, बहुत कॉमनली सीन है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, मैंने कहा कि जब मैंने मिलेट शुरू किए, मैंने ऑब्जर्व किया, मैं बहुत क्लियरली सोच सकती हूँ, कंफ्यूजन्स कम होते हैं. तो बेसिकली आई हैड ब्रेन फॉग. ओके, एंड बाकी सारे अदर सिम्टम्स, अगर आपको इस राइट साइड के इसमें से एक या दो भी सिम्टम्स हो ना, then just understand you are mildly gluten sensitive. Even left side का अगर चाहिए तो मैं भेज दूंगी image. You can always forward it to the whole group whenever and you can refer to it. So anxiety, depression, again brain के related है, and it is very common nowadays. I'm not saying clinical depression, mild depression. So मेरे mood swings भी काफी कम हो गए मैंने जब ज्यादा gluten free food खाना शुरू कर दिया. Okay, nausea, chronic headaches, fatigue. Again, fatigue is very common. कितने लोग आजकल बोलते हैं मुझे थकान होती है, मैं सुबह फ्रेश नहीं उठ पाती हूँ. आप में से किसी को ये इश्यू हो रहा है? You can type in the chat box or just think over it. If you don't want to express it to me, no problem. स्टमक इश्यूज, ऑफ कोर्स इंटेस्टाइन की वॉल्स अफेक्ट हो रही हैं. स्टमक इश्यूज तो पहले होंगे. आईबीएस बहुत कॉमन है, एसिड रिफ्लक्स बहुत कॉमन है, जॉइंट एंड मसल एक्स बहुत कॉमन है आजकल. I have even seen youngsters in teens, they say I have muscle aches, right? Acne, very common again. Eczema और skin rashes भी common हो गए. So just consider reducing gluten to some extent and see how your body is reacting to it. Okay. So कोई बोलता है gluten free अच्छा है, कोई बोलता है plant based अच्छा है, but don't believe any of them. Just try yourself for 3 months. कोई भी चीज प्लांट बेस्ड अगर आप 3 महीना चालू करेंगे, आपका बॉडी आपको आंसर करेगा कि ये आपके लिए अच्छा है या नहीं. जब मैं बोल रही हूँ ग्लूटेन फ्री, आप ट्राई कोशिश कीजिए. डोंट बिलीव इन मी, बट ट्राई फॉर योर सेल्फ फॉर 3 months एंड सी हाउ यू आर फीलिंग, हाउ योर बॉडी इज रिएक्टिंग. बी इन कनेक्शन विथ योर बॉडी. आपका बॉडी आपको थैंक यू कब बोलता है? जब आप फ्रेश उठते हैं. आपका बॉडी आपको थैंक यू कब बोलता है? जब आपके बॉडी में कोई भी नई चीज करने के लिए एक स्प्रिंग होती है. वाओ, ये करना है. जब आप खुश रहते हैं, that is when your body is saying thank you to you. So make small changes in your body, in your daily routine life, in your lifestyle. Continue it for 3 months and then see how your body is reacting, and then decide whether you want to continue or get back to your old lifestyle. Okay, I won't get here much. Let's move ahead. अगर आपको लगता है इसमें से काफी सारी चीजें मुझे हो रही है, then you may feel मुझे gluten free जाना पड़ेगा, right? And it comes as a shock. Believe me, it's not easy. ग्लूटेन यानी ग्लूटेन किस में है? वीट में है, राई में है और बार्ली में है. राई और बार्ली चलो हम ज्यादा नहीं खाते हैं. जव है, राई का हिंदी नेम मुझे नहीं मालूम, सॉरी. और वीट विच इज गेहूं. हम गेहूं पे बहुत ज्यादा डिपेंडेंट है, राइट? बहुत ज्यादा खा रहे हैं. तो जब हमें कोई बोल रहा है कि ग्लूटेन फ्री जाने की कोशिश भी करो, तो वो शॉक जैसे आता है. अरे कैसे जिएंगे फिर? रोटी नहीं खाएंगे तो क्या खाएंगे? समोसा नहीं खाएंगे तो क्या खाएंगे, राइट? तो फिर ऐसे लगता है, गुस्सा आता है, क्यों मुझे ही सेंसिटिविटी है? मे बी मॉम से आई है, पापा से आई है, हेरिडिटी में. हम ब्लेम गेम शुरू कर देते हैं. फिर लगता है कि नहीं, ये सब झूठ है, मुझे खाना है. और खा के फिर से गंदा फील करते हैं, फिर से वही सिम्टम्स आते हैं. फिर ऐसे लगता है देयर इज नो वे आउट. बट नहीं, देयर इज अ वे आउट एंड शरण इज हियर टू हेल्प यू. There are many gluten-free recipes where we can help you with our programs and through our website. Just go through them. Get Millet Savvy, it's not 6-week program as Sangeeta ji said, it's a 3-week program where we can help you gradually get onto gluten-free food, which is millets. And right now also I'll be sharing with you a few recipes and I'll be talking more about millets. So फिर आपको relief of और acceptance आएगा. But I'm not saying go completely gluten-free right away. Try with one breakfast or one lunch and then you move ahead. So now, हमारे देश में more than 200 varieties of millets grow कर रहे हैं. More than 200 varieties, which is like too many. अगर ये इतने सारे grow कर रहे हैं तो और इतना सारा variety available है, तो why are we hooked on to wheat? हम क्यों wheat पे इतने dependent हैं? I need some answers from you. क्यों ऐसा है? चैट बॉक्स में प्लीज लिखिए.
Yeah, because A, we've never got exposed to millets, and B, we
Yes.
don't know, or even other alternative grains like ज्वारी भाकरी. फिर भी ज्वारी और बाजरी फिर भी अभी थोड़ा बहुत हुआ है last couple of years में awareness, but
Right.
I don't think positive millets जो है, जो 5 core millets है, उसके बारे में किसी को भी ज्यादा पता है. And
Right.
where to source it from, how to cook it, how to really, what is the right way of cooking it, and how to make it tasty. I think the tasty part is also very critical, because
So true.
they may not be as tasty as wheat is unless you know the right way of making things for them. So yeah, that's what has been my observation.
Wonderful.
I think
Thank you so much.
awareness is also the biggest culprit. I mean,
Right.
very low awareness. Yeah.
Thank you, Dimple. And yes, Rajri says, बचपन से वही आदत है, right? We are so used to it, as Dimple also said. Lack of awareness about millets, Supriya is saying, and even we don't know the benefits of millets. Yes. So there's
Hello.
a deep conditioning. Yes.
हमारे बहुत पहले इंडिया में तो यही सब खाते थे.
Right.
ये मेरे
Yes.
ख्याल में अंग्रेजों ने आके गेहूं ले आए और अपना
So
जो
correct.
एंशिएंट खाना है वो सारा हटा दिया, क्योंकि उनको गेहूं बेचना था और यहाँ अच्छे उग रहा था. और
Very
चाय
correct.
शक्कर और ये सब अंग्रेजों का लाया हुआ है। उससे पहले हम मिलेट्स पे ही थे और अगर हम पुरानी एंशिएंट ट्रेडिशनल रेसिपीज उठा के देखेंगे तो बहुत सारी मिलेगी और दे आर ऑल वेरी टेस्टी।
Wonderful. Thank you, Archita, for giving this answer. I'm so happy that you know about this. So yes, lack of awareness, deep conditioning since our childhood, and one more thing is addiction. Wheat is highly addictive. Okay. Even when you start going gluten-free, you will want to go back to gluten, you know. It's like smoking छोड़ते हैं तो easy होता है छोड़ना, बिल्कुल नहीं. वैसे ही wheat छोड़ना भी easy नहीं है. You have to have a very good, self-control. So these are the 3 reasons, okay? And try to have other grains. We'll see why and how also we'll see, and also rotate between your grains. I'm not saying go completely gluten free, but gradually try and gradually rotate also, so your body doesn't feel ki arey wheat mila hi nahi. There was someone who had raised hand. Please, you can ask your question.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, hi. Good morning, everyone. Just wanted to share कि हम कभी अपनी पुरानी आदतों को छोड़ना ही नहीं चाहते हैं, या फैमिली में जो ट्रेंड चल रहा है उसी को सब फॉलो करते हैं. अगर सुबह सबने चाय पीनी है तो सभी ने पीनी है. नो वन वांट टू स्किप दैट. ये सबसे बड़ा रीजन होता है आई थिंक, कि अगर घर में गेहूं की रोटी बनेगी तो वही बनेगी और कुछ नहीं बन सकता है.
So true. Thank you for sharing, Payal. And here I would like to say, many a times, we blame our parents for getting the diseases. Heredity में मिला है. Diabetes मेरे family में है इसलिए मुझे मिला है. But no, we don't get diseases in heredity. We get these habits in heredity. Okay, we get this lifestyle from them in heredity, and that is why we continue with the same kind of diseases. Okay, let's move ahead. I see there's something in chat box. Okay, Archita, will come to that later. Let's move ahead and then we'll come to your suggestions. Thank you. So now let us understand what are millets. Okay, so millets are basically cereal crops, small seed grasses, just like any other grain. There's a pod on the top of the grasses, and believe me, 97% of the complete millet production of the world is in developing countries, and India is a big part of it. Okay, one is again Africa, South Africa, India, even China, and they are the oldest grains on our planet. They are the first grain on the planet. It was even mentioned in Vedas. So when it is mentioned in Vedas, you can easily say it is about 6,500 years ago or 7,000 years ago. Since then, they are there on this planet Earth. And hence, they are called ancient grains. Okay. They are also called superfoods. They are also called nutri-cereals. And you know why they are called so? And Shri Dhanya. Shri is a word that we give to Nariyal, like the Shri Fard, because there's a lot of goodness in it, right? So why do we call them superfoods, nutri-cereals, and Shri Dhanya? Because the nutrients that we receive from these millets are complete. I can say complete for the normal functioning of a human body. Okay. And as I said, more than 200 millets varieties are grown in India. They are in other countries. Moreover, they are called bird food. We had one of the participants in Get Millet Savvy. She was from South Africa, a Gujarati from South Africa. And she was like, there's no millets available here. How do I go gluten-free? Then I just told her, check if you're finding any bird feed there. And she bought a packet and she sent me a photograph. And you know what it was? It was bajra. Okay. So most of the other countries, they just call it a bird feed and they don't use it as their food. But it is a very good food for humans also. And as Archita pointed out, originally in India, it was millets that was widely used. And what happened? Why we got on to wheat? So let me explain to you. This happened in early 1950s, after India got freedom, there was a big bout of poverty. बहुत गरीबी हो गई थी इंडिया में because India was not managing things well. There was some climate conditions also. So there was a failure of crops also. So government ने तभी क्या किया? They made a rule. सभी farmers को wheat grow करना है because वो sure shot उगता है. Like the yield is better. Okay. And all the farmers were given fertilizers and pesticides free. So maybe first time जब ये implement हुआ, there were about certain percentage of farmers who followed and they made good money and the crop sustained. And the next year maybe again, because the others, they saw the others did well, they also did it. And gradually the whole of India started producing only wheat. And that is why gradually we all shifted to. So this is the transition, why we shifted to wheat. And our parents, they say they are healthy because in their childhood, they have had other grains. And then they got onto wheat. For us, we are having wheat right from our childhood. And our inner walls of intestines are tired of cleaning off that gluten that is there in the body. And you know, right now, when we are sitting here, we are having the gluten from maybe 10 years back in our system. It is stuck there. Do we want it? No, we want to release it. Right? So this is the history of the millets. This is what millets are. Now let's understand millets one by one. Okay? So these three I would say as major millets. Why I call them as major millets? Because they are widely available in India and they are very, very widely used also. So the first one is sorghum, which is also called as great millet or which is also called as jowar. Okay. So jowar is also called as a summer millet. It is very light to digest and it is a wonderful millet for diabetics also. So this is jowar. Then the second one is bajra, which is again very well known. Most of the Indians, they know about these two millets, jowar and bajra, and even finger millet, which is ragi or nachni. Okay. So these are the three millets which are very easily available. Where most of them will identify, even some of our kids will identify these millets. And we do use them once in a while, right? So that's why they are called major millets. And here, these are the minor millets. I call them minor millets because they are smaller in size. They are softer grains than the major millets. And they are also not that well known in our country, especially in urban cities. Okay. So the first one is little millet, which is also called as kutki. The second one is foxtail millet, which is also called as kangni. Please take photographs, okay? Because that's when you'll remember which millet is, okay? The second is foxtail millet, which is called kangni. The third one, this one is barnyard millet, also called as sama. And sama is used, sama and kutki. These are the two grains used in many uh, religions during fasting also, right? So they are very lighter grains to digest. They are very easily digested. And proso, also called as chena. Kodo millet is not as much grown and it is not as much well known also. It is also called as kodra, and because it is not grown in good quantities and not well known, it is a little expensive. And same goes with brown top millet, which is again rarely grown and rarely used also. And so it is expensive. So these two millets, okay, brown top millet is also called as harasama many a times because of its color. Good, right? And when I say there are more than 200 varieties of millets grown in India, why there are 200 millets, 200 types? Because they change. All these millets that we are seeing, major we saw and these minor, the color, the taste, and the nutrient values change depending on the climate, soil, and the water availability. And that's why I say there are more than 200 varieties. Otherwise, when I put them in bigger categories, they are this 6 and 3, 9. 9 millets when you put them in bigger categories. So 9 types of millets. Okay. So now this is a table where these millets are called with different names in different states. So you can just take a snap if you need to. For example, we say finger millet. It is called ragi in many places. It is called nachini also, I remember, which is not put here. Nagli also it is called. So it's called differently in different states. And if you say, talk about the English name, finger millet is called so because the pod of the finger millet comes out like fingers. That's why it's called finger millet. And barnyard millet is called so because of the color. The color of the millet is like barnyard. And the little millet is called so because of the size of the millet. It's very small. Even the pearl millet is called so bajra millet because they look like pearls. So that is the reason. Even foxtail millet is called so because of the shape of the pod. It's like the tail of a fox. Okay. I hope you have taken this.
Brown top is where is brown top?
Brown top is not here. I told you it's not very well, widely grown. So a lot of other many states don't even know what is that millet, right? It is called harasama generally. Okay. So now let's move ahead. Let's know more about millets. They are magical. Why? Because they are a powerhouse of nutrition and they are packed with large doses of antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, high fiber content, and they are a good source of phytochemicals. When I say high fiber content, whichever thing has a high fiber content, digestible fiber, of course, I wouldn't say go and eat ganna or drumstick. No, that is not digestible fiber. Whatever has high digestible fiber is a good thing to go for. Just think once. Any animal food has zero fiber. Okay. I won't miss out on this opportunity to point out that. Don't any animal food will have just fats, protein, in small quantities, of course, and zero fiber. So I would never go for it. So because it does have all these things and it is gluten-free also, these are the benefits. All the millets are gluten-free. They have low glycemic index. What is it? Because the fiber content is high, the release of the glucose from the digestion system to the blood is very slow. Because of the fiber, it will go slowly through the digestion system and the release of the glucose in the bloodstream will be slow, and that is why it is all the millets are very, very good for diabetics. If you are wanting to reverse your diabetes, then you can get on to millets. Okay. And diabetes, if it is a type 2 diabetes, it is very easily reversible if you get on to SHARAN lifestyle and if you get on to millets. If you need any help with this, I'll let you know how to get in touch with us in the end of the class. They are highly alkaline. Our body is basically alkaline. Okay. And when we have the food which is not right for our body, it gradually becomes acidic and the issues crop up. And because it is highly alkaline, millets, and because millets are a good source of phytochemicals, they help to prevent cancer. The cancer cells, every one of us have cancer cells in our body, right? But these cancer cells multiply when our body starts turning acidic. And so that is why millets help us to keep our body alkaline. And these phytochemicals also help in preventing cancer. So these are the very good benefits of having millets. And let's see at this nutritional benefits chart. I know I'm getting a little overtime, but I'd like to cover this very well. So the pearl, if you see the protein, fiber, minerals, iron, and calcium. Let's start with the fiber. That's my favorite nutrition, as I told you. The rice and wheat. Here, the rice is whole and wheat is whole. It is not processed when they are giving this count. So the whole rice is having 0.2 fiber and wheat is having 1.25. And see the amount of fiber in barnyard millet, kodo millet, little millet. Isn't it amazing? Foxtail millet. So if you're looking for reversing diabetes, I would say you should go for minor millets, okay? Because minor millets have a huge amount of fiber in it than major millets. If you see finger millet, pearl millet, will have less amount of fiber. Even jowar has good amount of fiber. You can go for it, but not ragi and bajra, okay? So these are the points I may not get back to again. You may make a note of it. Now
Sorry,
let's
Kommalji, somebody is just asked in the chat box to repeat the cancer point that you just mentioned.
Okay. So the cancer point that I mentioned is our body is basically alkaline. And when it starts, see, everyone has some cancer cells in the body, right? And the problem happens when these cancer cells starts multiplying. And when do they start multiplying? When they get an acidic environment. So when we have animal foods or foods which are more acidic in nature, the cells will multiply. So if you're on millets, they're highly alkaline. So you will be able to keep your body more alkaline and the multiplication of cancer cells will reduce. Also, phytochemicals are very good for preventing cancer and that's why it's great for preventing cancer. Millets are great for preventing cancer. Okay. Okay, let's come to protein. You see the amount of protein in wheat or rice is not very less, right? But what is gluten? Gluten is a protein. So one of the content of protein in wheat is gluten also, which is not great for our body. So let's go for foods which are high in protein but not gluten, right? So most of these, if you're working out, if you want great muscles, millets are great for you, right? And you basically, you don't need excess protein. It is a real big hype nowadays. If you see, most of the diseases are due to high protein. And, a person will be deficient in protein only if a person is starving, which rarely happens, right? So also, or one condition where body is, uh, the kidneys are removing protein from the body. These are the two conditions where you can have protein deficiency. Otherwise, you get protein from even your fruits and vegetables. So don't have those excess protein from outside just for the sake of building muscles or getting healthier. No, your daily routine food gets enough protein for you. If you want to build muscles, exercise, not protein. Okay, let's get on to minerals. If you see, even the minerals are great in all of these millets. Iron. Iron, if you see, okay, when you deliver a child, what is the new mother given majorly? Pearl millets, right? So our ancestors knew that this after the delivery, the mother needs a good amount of iron. She needs a good amount of protein and calcium, and that is why pearl millet was given to her. Okay, it's a good amount of iron. When barnyard has a good amount of iron, if you see, right? When it comes to calcium, this finger millet has 10 times more calcium than cow's milk. And this calcium is easily absorbed by the body also. So we really don't need any dairy milk to get calcium. In fact, the protein in the dairy is so high that to digest that protein, the body leaches out calcium. So that is why the countries where the dairy consumption is highest are the countries which have the highest cases of osteoporosis. India is one of them, right? So we don't need milk for calcium. It is a gimmick played by the dairy industry to make us drink more milk. Okay. So if you're looking for calcium, and yes, you remember all the young children, when they get on to grains, the first thing that we give them is ragi, nachni, finger millets, right? Because their bones are developing. I have given my daughter sprouted ragi malt for years together. Till now she drinks, right? So it's great for growing children, ragi. Okay. So let's move ahead. You can take a snap of this if you really need. I'm sure you must have taken. Let's move ahead. So now, what all you can make with which millet? Let's get there. Let's get to sorghum, jowar millet. It is great for making idlis, dosas. You can make pizza bases with it, rotis, parathas, cakes and cookies, snacks like doklas, depras, and muthias, and even dry snacks. All of these can be made. Just remember, if you're making idlis and dosas, you're not using the flour, you're soaking the whole grains. Also, if you're making idlis, you can add a handful of cooked millets or cooked rice, or even you can add some poha while making the batter. A handful of it will make the idlis really softer. Remember to add methi seeds to your batter. And yes, if you're making idlis, when the batter is fermented, don't mix the batter. There are air pockets in it, right? It has risen. So you will just pick it up and put it in the mold. You will put it in the mold along with those air pockets. And that's when the millet idlis will be softer. You can make idlis and dosas with all the millets. The proportion is the same. Just replace rice with these millets, right?
When to put salt, then in the morning when we grind
Salt,
it.
at that time only you put salt, so then you don't have to mix it, right? For dosas, same batter, add some water, mix it and make dosas. And I always make it a point when I'm making dosas, I add a little of a fresh coconut also blended to it in the batter itself. If I'm making dosas, they turn out really delicious. Okay. If you're making
That is
pizza,
pre-fermenting, right? When you grind it, you should put
yes,
coconut.
yes, yes.
Okay.
When you're and especially because I don't use oil, so I'm making oil-free dosas, right? So that coconut will give the natural oils to it also. And yes, since I'm talking about oil-free dosas, if you're making oil-free dosas, just spread your dosa, cover it up. Okay, when you're covering it within the, as it cooks, there's steam being prepared in it, right? That steam will help the dosa to come up. It will not stick to your tawa. Okay, and it really comes out very well. Okay, when you're making your rotis or parathas or pizza base or cakes and cookies, remember that you roast your um, flour before you're making it. See, there's no gluten in it and we want to give a shape to it, right? So we have to roast it beforehand, and we roast it beforehand and then make it. It is very easy to give that shape to it. And when I say I have become gluten free, but I don't have those rotlas and bhakris every day, those thick rotlas and bhakris. I do have those millet rotis, which are just like wheat rotis, which are softer, thin, and very delicious. So I'll tell you how to make that also. Just wait for a while. So that is about rotis and parathas, and doklas, depras, and muthias you can make with jowar or any other millets also. Here I would like to say, when we are making muthias, generally we mix the grains. So see, every grain, when we saw the nutrition chart, has different nutrition in it. And for every grain, our body has to create different enzymes. So when you mix grains, it is a lot of effort for our digestion system. So just remember that one meal, one grain. Don't mix the grains. Multigrain is not healthy for you. Multigrain is too tiresome. It will drain the energy from your body rather than give you energy. So go for one grain, one meal. Okay, that is the rule. So let's move ahead. if you feel your rotis or parathas are not coming out well after I show you the recipe and still they are not coming out well, you can add some raw banana to it. I'm not saying potatoes here because it is an applied Jainism group. You can add some raw banana boiled to it. Okay, right now I'm running really out of time. So please note down your questions. Let me finish my presentation. I'll answer all your questions. I'm not in a hurry to go, but I'm in a hurry to finish the presentation, but I don't want to rush through it. So just note down your questions. I'll answer all of them. Okay. So now this is a wonderful snap of a pizza that was made from jowar. One of my friend made it. So you can make the dough just like you make the bhakri dough. Just remember that you have roasted your atta and added some hot water to it to make the dough and make your jowar pizza base. Okay, very healthy, very delicious too. My child loves it, so I'm sure everyone will love it. So now let's come to bajra millet. You can again make idlis, dosas, pizza base. Pizza base, I'm telling you can make, but I feel it is a little dry, so I avoid it, but you can make it. Again, rotis and parathas, I'll explain to you how to make. Cakes and cookies, please avoid making with bajra because it's a very, very dry grain and the cakes and cookies will be very dry, not very moist. So people don't enjoy it. So you can avoid making that. Otherwise, you can make every other thing like you can even make laddus with it. You can even make dry snacks with it, right? So let me explain you to the recipe of the roti, how to make the roti. So when I'm explaining you the bajra roti, any other millets can be used. So the proportion is 1:1. Take 2 pans. One pan, if you're taking 1 cup, suppose, put water 1 cup. One pan, take 1 cup of atta. Okay. And when I'm saying atta, it is not the atta which is made in a mixer. It is a mill atta. So I prefer milling it at my home. So I have a flour mill. I make it at home. So as per and if you're at all you're making the atta in the mixer, please sieve it very well. छान लेना उसको. Okay. So now एक साइड में पानी गरम करेंगे, एक साइड में आटा रोस्ट करेंगे स्लो फ्लेम पे. ओके. पानी बॉईल होता है तो आटा भी बंद कर देना है. दोनों गैस बंद कर देना है और पानी आटे में डाल के चम्मच से मिक्स करके ढक के 10 मिनट तक रख दो. ओके. आफ्टर 10 मिनट, आफ्टर 10 मिनट्स यू नीड द डो. उसमें नमक डालना है डाल दो. उसमें अगर आप कोकोनट बटर या हम तेल यूज नहीं करते तो वी यूज कोकोनट बटर. इफ यू आर यूजिंग एनीथिंग यू कैन ऐड लिटिल ऑयल मे बी. आई वुड से प्लीज अवॉइड. अच्छे से ये कर दो, मल दो अच्छे से. व्हाट यू नीड इट. And once it is needed, you can actually make your roti just like wheat roti. Roll कर सकते हो, पतला रोटी बनेगा, फुल्का बनेगा और soft बनेगा. Okay? So this is the recipe for the roti. If you are sorted with your roti and rice, I'm sure you can at least go 50% gluten free than what you're right now, right? So that's a big thing. Okay? So I'll take your questions. Please let me move ahead. The next thing is ragi. So ragi millets, again, you can make milk also with ragi millet because it is very high in calcium. I would suggest you can. I make my shiras with ragi milk. कभी भी घर पे बनाती हूँ. How do you make ragi milk is soak the millets for about 6 or 8 hours and then blend it with water and your milk is ready. And जब वो कुक होता है तो थिक होता है. So बहुत कम मिलेट्स लेना है. हाँ, अगर आपको 1 ग्लास दूध चाहिए तो 1 छोटे चम्मच रागी में मिलेट 1 ग्लास दूध बन जाएगा. Okay. Then idli, dosa, puttu, roti, paratha. Roti, I told you the recipe, same recipe, don't worry. Neer dosa can also be made with this in the same way. Cakes and cookies, बहुत delicious होते हैं रागी के. Very delicious. You can check out the recipes in one of our class or maybe get Millet Savvy. And there is, I think, one recipe on our website which is with millets. You can check that out. The website is here on every slide. You can check. खिचड़ी, हाँ, बिकॉज ये छोटा ग्रेन है, काफी लोग सोचेंगे इसका खिचड़ी भी बना सकते हैं, पर नहीं, आप नहीं बना सकते हैं। इसका खिचड़ी पकने को टाइम लगता है। काफी लोग बनाते हैं, पर वो ऐसे एक एक घंटा कुकर में रखना पड़ता है। बट आई वुड से डोंट गो फॉर इट, यू कैन यूज इट इन अदर वेज। पैनकेक्स एंड लड्डूस भी बन सकते हैं। माई डॉटर लव्स दीज पैनकेक्स। Kheer, again, it is not a rice replacement. Major millets are not rice replacements. Okay, so kheer नहीं बना सकते हो, पर हलवा पक्का बना सकते हो। हलवा is शीरा. Okay, so now I'll share with you the recipe of ragi laddus. And इसी तरह से आप कोई भी millet का recipe बना सकते हो. Okay, so what do? You take whole ragi. You add 1 or 2 whole इलायची और cardamom to it and roast it. Roast it very well. Slow medium गैस पे आप अच्छे से 10-15 मिनट उसको रोस्ट कीजिए, अच्छा नटी स्मेल आएगा। इसी तरह मैंने बाजरा लड्डू भी बहुत बनाए हैं। So you can just roast it very well. रोस्ट हो गया ना, फिर अक्खा इलायची के साथ उसको मिक्सर में पीस दो। So we get the fiber of the इलायची also, right? पीस लिया, फिर उसको प्लेट में निकालो, सॉफ्ट वाले खजूर लो और उसके साथ मिक्स कर दो। उसमें आप रोस्टेड नट्स भी डाल सकते हो पीसेस करके, और बाइंड कर दो और लड्डू बना दो। इजंट इट सिंपल? बाजरा लड्डू मैं जब बनाती हूँ तब सेकने में उसमें बुरा कोकोनट भी डालती हूँ, गोंद भी डालती हूँ, और फिर खजूर के साथ थोड़ा सौंठ डाल देती हूँ, थोड़ा काला मिरी भी डाल देती हूँ, तो एकदम विंटर बाजरा लड्डूस बन जाते हैं। ओके, सो दिस वाज अबाउट लड्डूस। नाउ ऑल द माइनर मिलेट्स हमने जो देखे थे, ऑल माइनर मिलेट्स आर राइस रिप्लेसमेंट्स। छोटे हैं, सॉफ्ट हैं, इजीली कुक हो जाते हैं, वो सब राइस रिप्लेसमेंट है। ओके, तो वो राइस रिप्लेसमेंट है, तो उसे कैसे कुक करना है? अगर आप कुकर में, अच्छा, कोई भी मिलेट्स हो उसे सोक करना जरूरी है, मैं आगे बताऊंगी। तो उसे सोक कर लेते हैं अच्छे से 6-8 घंटे। फिर उसे अगर कुकर में रख रहे हैं तो 1 सीटी, पानी का प्रोपोर्शन 1:2, 2 टाइम पानी। अगर आप स्टीम कर रहे हैं तो भी सेम प्रपोर्शन है। कम क्वांटिटी है तो स्टीम इजी पड़ता है, 3-4 मिनट में स्टीम हो जाते हैं, 5-6 मिनट में स्टीम होते हैं। ओपन पैन कुकिंग करते हैं तो 2.5 टाइम्स पानी लेना और 10 मिनट उसको कुक करने देना, फिर ढक के रख देना। फिर आप अगर फोर्क डालोगे तो खिले खिले जैसे चावल होते हैं वैसे वो कुक हो जाते हैं। ओके, सो दिस वाज हाउ टू कुक योर राइस। नाउ इससे आप उपमा भी बना सकते हो होल माइनर मिलेट से, या फिर आधा आधा अधूरा पीस के भी। राइस डिशेस कोई भी बना सकते हो, शेजवान राइस है, कोकोनट राइस है, लेमन राइस है, पुलाव है, बिरयानी है, सब कुछ आप माइनर मिलेट से बना सकते हो। खीर पॉरेज सैलेड्स में भी यूज कर सकते हो। शाम को काफी बार आई मेक अ सैलेड, उसमें थोड़े मिलेट्स मिक्स कर दिए, वो मेरा खाना हो गया। सो हेल्दी, राइट? एंड उसमें अगर प्रोटीन डालना है तो थोड़े छोले डाल दिया, काले चने डाल दिया, एंड आपका इजी हो जाता है प्रिपेयर करना भी और हेल्दी भी हो जाता है। बेक डिशेस सब बना सकते हो, पास्ता भी लाइव बना सकते हो इनसे। टिक्कीज कोफ्ताज, जैसे आप टिक्कीज और कोफ्ताज में कच्चा केला डालते हैं, राइट, बाइंडिंग के लिए, तो उसकी जगह पे आप माइनर मिलेट्स यूज कर सकते हो। वो फिलिंग भी हो जाएगा। ड्राई स्नैक्स, चकली और बना सकते हो। इसके माइनर मिलेट्स के फ्लेक्स आते हैं तो चिवड़ा भी बना सकते हो, पूरीज बना सकते हो। ये सब ड्राई स्नैक्स आप इन सब माइनर मिलेट से बना सकते हो। बट जस्ट रिमेम्बर, जब भी आप कोई आटा बना रहे हो उसको रोस्ट करना है आटे को, और गर्म पानी से आटा बनाना है, क्योंकि हम उसको शेप दे रहे हैं और उसमें ग्लूटेन नहीं है। तो ये करते हैं तो वो इजी हो जाता है। So again, I gave you the recipe how to make rice, rotis, laddus, and yeah, I think that's it. Pizza base का भी थोड़ा बता दी, right? Now let's look at some do's and don'ts. Always buy unpolished millets so that there's more fiber to it and they're more natural. Always buy organic and fresh because there are no pesticides in it. always soak your millets for 6 to 8 hours. मैं even if मैं आटा बना रही हूँ, I soak it for 6 to 8 hours, dry it. अगर उसमें कुछ मॉइस्चर रह गया तो 2-3 मिनट रोस्ट कर लेती हूँ एंड फिर उसको पीसती हूँ. When you buy from the market, it is not soaked. And why it is important to soak, I'll tell you. When you soak the millets, the जो उसमें फाइबर होता है वो सॉफ्टन होता है, राइट, एंड उसमें जो न्यूट्रिशन होता है वो थोड़ा अवेलेबल होता है हमारे बॉडी के लिए. सोक होता है ना तभी. एंड ऑल्सो उसमें जो थोड़े एसिड्स और पॉइजनस सब्सटेंसेस है वो रिलीज हो जाते हैं. So there will be a question that whether we should use the water in which it is soaked. So I will say, when you're soaking the millets for 6 to 8 hours, if there is any foam formed on the top of the water, then you will not use that water. If there is no foam, then you can use that water. Okay? Am I clear with this? I'm sure this question would have come, so I answered it. When there's foam come, that means there is some toxins that are released. Okay? Now, and also while you're soaking the millets, remember that you wash it very well and then soak it, right? Rotate your millets. Don't be hooked on to one millet for months together. Rotate. 2-3 दिन के बाद दूसरा millet use करो, because we saw every millet has different nutrition and we want all the nutrition. And go for gradual transition. Don't shock your body कि अभी से बस सब कुछ बंद सिर्फ millets. No. That's not the right way. Gradually take 3 months. Give 3 months to your body to get onto millets. Yeah, gradually. 1 meal at a time. एक meal आपका 2-3 हफ्ते हो गया कि millets पे हो रहा है. Then get on to the next meal, which will be gluten free. And millets have high fiber, high nutrition. So we really need to stay hydrated. अगर आप दिन में 8 ग्लास पानी पी रहे हो और millets खा रहे हो तो स्टार्ट करने वाले हो millets तो add 1 or 2 more glasses of water. अदरवाइज क्या होता है ना, काफी लोग बोलते हैं मैं मिलेट्स लेता हूँ और मुझे बहुत गैस हो जाती है, मुझे बहुत हैवी फील होता है, तो मुझे वो सूट नहीं होता है. नो, इट्स नॉट मिलेट्स दैट आर नॉट सूटिंग यू. योर बॉडी नीड्स मोर वाटर टू डाइजेस्ट दैट फाइबर. So have more water when you're having millets. Also, just remember, if you're used to having 3 chapatis, wheat chapatis, then you may not be able to have 3 millet chapatis. They are denser grains, denser in nutrition also, right? Your body is hungry for nutrition. So when the body gets enough nutrition, body will say, okay, I'm done. So you might have just 2 and feel satiated. So don't overdo. Don't push yourself for the third roti. Okay? So now some don'ts. Buy in less quantity. No, because we are buying organic, buy in less quantity, not in bulk. If at all there are any insects that come in, because we are buying organic, that's a sign it is really organic. Don't throw away. Clean it, dry it in sunlight and use it. Do not mix millets. I shared. Do not store cooked millets, because many a times some people will feel gaseous if they use millets which are cooked earlier. Right? So don't store them, use them fresh. Unless if you're taking in tiffins and all, then you can take it, but be aware that you might feel gaseous if you're using beforehand cooked millets. Avoid packaged millets, snacks and breads, because a lot of additives are added to it, right? Just remember, whenever you're buying packaged foods, read the ingredient list. Anything that you cannot understand or there are numbers in it, you don't buy it. They are not good for your body. Remember that you do not overeat. I covered that. Now, how to store millets? You store them in airtight glass containers. If you're buying organic, then you need to refrigerate it if you're buying in bigger quantities. If you're using for like maybe next 15-20 days, you can keep it outside. And you can show sunlight to it maybe every month if you're buying in more quantities. Okay? And this is my favorite slide, favorite most slide. Why millets is the need of the hour. Yes, Dimple did cover it in the beginning, but let me get into a little detail and then we come to your questions. So they are the most farmer-friendly crops. These millets, they grow within 2 months. I dry my grains outside in my balcony. So once, some jowar grains had gone into my pots. And within 2 months, I saw the pods in my pot. Okay. I saw the pods ready. So when they are shorter duration, the farmer can have more crops. And when they can have more crops, these farmers will they prosper? And when they prosper, there will be less deaths, right? Water requirement is very, very less. It can even grow very less. It can grow in Rajasthan, it can grow in deserts, it can grow everywhere. So the need of water is less. The water which will be saved can be used for much better purposes, right? There are no fertilizers and pesticides needed to grow millets. Absolutely no. Still, why we are buying organic? Because the farmers are not only growing millets. The soil does have other pesticides in it. And that's why we are buying from certified farmers who are certified organic farmers. We don't want those fertilizers and pesticides, chemicals. Fertilizers and pesticides are chemicals. They are not food, okay? So they actually don't. And if we create a demand for millets, the farmer will grow millets, right? Because they need money. They can also be grown as hedge crop. Many farmers, they have their main crop, which is maybe something else. They grow on the borders, these millets. And why do they do so? Because they know that these millets are healthier for them. So they grow them as border and they use them themselves. So there can be multiple crops also when the farmer is growing millets. Yeah? So they can benefit. They can grow in highly harsh and tolerant weathers also. Extreme, like right from 10 degrees to 50 degrees, these millets can grow. Okay. And all the other grains that we are growing right now in our country or wherever, they need a lot of water, a lot of fertilizers. So all that can be saved, right? And this is my favorite point now. We saw it is high in calcium, it is high in protein. All the above points are not really important if you understand this point. If our need for calcium and protein is taken care of with these millets, then we do not need any meat or milk. Here I need to talk about milk. We do not need any milk. And when we don't need milk, when we reduce the demand for milk, the animal farming that is happening right now, it is a business, right? The animals will be less tormented, right? They won't be raped. They won't be just grown for milk. Their lives, which is generally 22 years, 23 years, and they are dead by 6 years. That will not happen. Okay? And when this will not happen, the animals need a lot of water, a lot of crops for their rearing. That will reduce. And when that reduces, global warming will reduce. The main reason for global warming is animal foods. When we reduce having animal foods, we'll be able to reverse the climate condition that is right now at a faster rate. And we will be able to give a better planet, a better future to our future generations, to our children. So get on to millets, get on to these wonderful, healthy, nutritious, compassionate. I would say they are compassionate grains also. Get on to them. So that was from my side, and we can help you in whichever way we can. Just you can take a snap of this. We are just a WhatsApp message away for any of your doubts, and you can check our website. There are amazing classes happening. Get Millet Savvy is a class which I take 4 times in a year, where we help people to gradually get on to millets. We do share about 45 recipes there, and the transition is very gradual there. So it's a hand holding that we can give you. And there are many other wonderful courses there. There are many free talks happening, free courses happening. You can check that out. Our website does have more than 700 recipes, which are all plant-based, all oil-free and dairy-free. And you can check our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter handles also. If you make any of these dishes, if you feel we have helped you or touched your lives in any way, with do let us know. We'll be very, motivated to do more. Wish you all the best for your health. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm sorry, all of you. I went more time-wise. Time-wise, I went aboard, but
Hey, hi Komal ji. No, I think that was perfectly fine. I think while time-wise we may have been a little of minutes extra, but I think in terms of the wealth of information, it's absolutely invaluable, right? And even like you said, even a small change of 50% is also a great change. Even if there, we get a 30-40% change or 20% change, I think it's a game changer in terms of our health as well as our health and planet health, right? So I think the session was really amazing. I'll open it to questions first before we give the thank you message and the closing notes.
shall we take up the questions in the chat box
Yeah.
first?
Yeah,
Otherwise, you'll
sure.
miss them out.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let me see.
Let me read that out for you if that helps.
Yeah,
so
that
to
will
make it
really
more
help. Thank you.
easier. Yeah, give me also a minute.
Okay, I'll start by the time you check. I
Yeah,
see the
yeah.
first one is supplements for B12. So the B12 supplement I would suggest is methylcobal. There's it's a red color tablet strip that comes, and it is easily absorbed by the body. You can go for that. 100% ऑर्गेनिक नॉन पेस्टिसाइड होता है, ये कैसे मानेंगे? ओके, ये कैसे विद्या सी once you start having organic, you will realize that taste also differs. Even my daughter, if she by chance she has an apple from which is non-organic, one bite and she'll say, Mama, this is not organic. The taste is different. Every vegetable and fruit tries to save itself from these chemicals. So these non-organic fruits and vegetables will have a thicker skin. There'll be a slight bitterness in it, right? And they won't look perfect. Organic vegetables and fruits won't look perfect. Each of us are not perfect, right? We are all different. Why do we expect each apple to be the same? Right? So you will know. Once you start, you will know. For B12, ambali of millets is great source of vitamin B12. That's spot on, Dimple. It's amazing. You can check out the recipe of ambali on Dr. Khadavali's YouTube link. And if you can make it and have it every single day, that's a wonderful food for your dinner.
Yeah. Komalji, only clay pot is really compulsory there, right?
Yeah, clay pot is very important there.
So the cleaning of clay pot is also a challenge, right? Typically.
See,
No,
what I do is, yes, Jagatji.
I can suggest that clay pot should be cleaned with a lemon or salt.
Yeah. So
not with soap. Not with soap.
Yeah, I
Okay.
totally agree with you. And I also keep vani. Like my mother, she says in a village. So vani, what do you call vani? Ashes. Yeah, right. So ashes. So I use ashes for that. And also I keep two pots. One, if it is washed, it is there in sunlight to dry out.
Okay.
So it is very clean.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the suggestions. So one was lemon and salt and the other is ashes, right? And then sun.
The
Yeah.
natural porosity should not be get filled up.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is the basic principle.
Right. If you're using soap, it will be, the pots will be filled with soap.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is not, which will go into your food again.
Correct. Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah.
For another supplements is Cosmix brand B12. I have not tried. Sorry, Cosmix brand vegan. Protein. Vegan protein is also very good. No protein from outside is needed. If you're having your fruits and vegetables, no protein is needed. If you're having your dals and this legumes, moong, chana, chole, if you're having all these things, कोई outside calcium protein की जरूरत ही नहीं है. Our protein need is what? 1% of our body weight. We don't need more than that.
Okay.
Please
Okay,
don't take.
thank you. Yeah, sure. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Buckwheat ka aata se we can make lovely bhakris. Spot on. Very nice. These are some answers, I think. Why to eat Indian food only, not only foreign? No, why not foreign food? Any specific reason? Okay. Rajeshri, see, just, okay, I'll give you one example. I brought these anjeer from Kashmir. And there they were lying open. I said, Goni mein they were lying open and they were exactly as they were. And the moment I got them to Bombay, the next day they turned black, dark. So anything that you buy locally will have more nutrition. It stays, the nutrition is alive and it stays alive. When it travels more, there are more number of resources going into it. Even based on Jainism, I would say when you buy food from which is foreign based, there's a lot of more resources going into it. So based on Jainism also, I would say it's great to have local food than foreign food. And if someone is growing quinoa at home in India, go for it. I wish to share my learnings. Yes, Jagatji, please share.
Yeah, few points. About the quinoa, the last point you raised, as well as the global warming. So I will suggest that buying local food made in India or local from the state itself, genetically they are proven as per the climatic conditions of that region. And that is why we should eat those foods, because since last 3, 4, 500 years, our bodies are genetically made for eating those foods. That is point number one. Point number two, while buying local food, it's basically, it will reduce the existing problems of global warming. So there will be less of carbon footprint and local people will have more earnings, right? Third point is that, I am into nature conservation. So I will redefine this concept of human food uh, about which you talked. Nature is God as far as I am concerned. And we are all dependent upon nature itself. Now, the whole food chain, if you consider that why there are grains on it so that humans can eat. But when there are on the borders, you said that they plant, like when they are growing cash crops, they plant, or we suggest always to have these millets so that birds can eat also, and
Wow.
they will eat away the infected insects from those birds, fruit birds, right? So their ultimately their crop will productivity will go up. एक एक बिगड़ी हुई कैरी सब कैरी को बिगाड़ती है, ऐसे एक बिगड़ा हुआ धान भी पूरे डुंडे को बिगाड़ेगा. तो वो नहीं होगा उसका. दिस इज साइंस व्हाट आई एम टॉकिंग इज. That is one thing. And I believe that as a part of food chain, you know, all the grains are also as a part of food chain. Every life is dependent upon some other life. So grains are one, as well, humans as well as the birds, and biodiversity is dependent upon the whole thing. So when we talk about in general, we are talking mainly about the humans, but I suggest that we should also cover all other lives too. And just as that is the point I am trying to make. You said Shridan. I will say my love for the birds, Shri birds too.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Jagatji, for sharing this perspective also. And I'm really happy. I will add it to my points and use
Thank
it
you.
henceforth. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, alkaline acidic, I did repeat. 100% organic, non-pesticide. How can I think I answered it. I think recording is there on Facebook. You can check there, right? You can go through it again. Dimple, if I'm missing out anything, do let me know.
No, I think you've covered everything. Recipes, where are they available? I think that also you answered, right? They're available on SHARAN website as well.
Yeah, there is one question. Can we use different millets for different meals on one particular day? Yes, Gina, you can use it, but one meal, grain only. Like we as Gujaratis at our home, we were used to have rotis and chawal both in the same meal. So that is not the right way. Have just either roti or chawal, or make roti chawal with the same grain. Okay. From where to get organic? If you check, we do have SHARAN store in Warsaw. They deliver all over Mumbai. And secondly, you can also check on Amazon. Most of the millets are available in organic, conscious foods. There are many brands actually. Just type organic millets, you will find many.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. So I
Ma'am,
think if
ma'am, last a small request. Post my this is my personal point. Post my sparrow conservation book on Save the Sparrows. Just recently, I have come out with a book on Behtarin birds with 26 articles on the birds around human habitations and their peculiar characteristics. So I have shared my sparrow books with many of our group friends. In same way, if anybody is interested, please DM me with your total courier address and phone number so that I can share that book with you free of cost. That will be my pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jagatji. So I believe we don't have any more questions. So I just wanted to, close the session with a huge thanks to Kommalji and SHARAN and even Meenaji who facilitated this entire session for us. Kommalji, I think the insights you shared have been invaluable. There's a lot of, there's a wealth of information. बहुत ही ज़्यादा informative था, बहुत ही ज़्यादा हेल्थ वाइज प्लैनेट वाइज के लिए अपने जो भी पॉइंट्स दिए हमको वो इम्प्लीमेंट करने लायक है. So yeah, I think thank you so much, and everybody, SHARAN holds a lot of sessions, so please feel free to get in touch with them for to get into more depth on this particular topic. We'll also try and cover a little bit more depth of plant-based food as we in one of our in one of our forthcoming sessions as well. But yeah, definitely please do approach SHARAN as well for getting into this. Do spread the word as well. I think spreading the awareness, अगर ये हम थोड़ा change ला सके तो आज के lecture का कोमल जी के effort का बहुत ही really सार्थक होगा. So please implement it and then definitely spread the word. Feel the goodness of the millets. Again, and why we did this session also is because one of my very close relatives went through a very strong disease, and then in response to that, we got in touch with millets, and हमने भी wonderful इसके outcomes देखे हैं, right? So diabetes levels have come down, cholesterol levels have come down. So in just 3 to 4 months, I have also seen the magic of millets, and that's why we really believe it's a big game changer. My own weight has also reduced by 3 kgs in just about 3 months. So I think without any additional exercise, as Komalji said. So I think it's definitely proven, and it's something that what our ancestors were using. So it's best to go back to it. So thank you, everybody.
Sorry,
give us your feedback. Do join us on our Apply Jainism group as well. And once you start having millets or turn into plant-based diets, please share your feedback as well. I think that also is always encouraging as such. Yeah, sorry, Sangeeta ji, you were saying.
Yeah, no, I think somebody has raised their hand. Kokila ji,
You are not audible.
Do you want to type out your question or thought, Kokila ji?
Yeah, मैंने already type किया है.
Achha, okay, sorry. So,
question of any replacement.
Okay, any replacement for rice? Is that your question?
Yes.
So all the minor millets are replacement for rice. Okay. And one more question, I think.
सेम में से कुक करना है उसे, जैसे हम लोग राइस पकाते हैं वैसे ही.
you need to soak it for 6 to 8 hours. And then if you're cooking it in the cooker, then only one city with 2 times water. If you're cooking it, if you're steaming it, then you can just steam it for about 7 minutes. If you're cooking it open pan, then 2.5 times water, cook it on medium flame for 10 minutes, and then close the flame and cover it and keep it for 10 minutes.
ओके मैं ना राइस में से पानी निकाल देती थी बिकॉज ऑफ दैट स्टार्च पार्ट
Here you
इसमें
don't
पानी
need
नहीं
to
निकालना है ना
remove. No need to remove.
ओके थैंक्स अ लॉट
Yeah, and there was one question about weight loss, I think. Does it help weight loss? Akshita has asked. Yes, it has huge amounts of fiber, so it does help weight loss very much. Yeah.
I think, yeah, if there are no more
Thank you
questions,
so much.
then thank you so much, Kommal ji, for your time. And thank you everyone for being here with us on this Sunday morning, afternoon now. Thank you so much. We'll be back again next month with another session. Jai Zinendra.
Jai Jinendra. Thank you.
Thank you.